Morning everyone, welcome to my little craft room. My name's Becky from Crafts by Becky, and this morning I am making a start on the first page, for the first prompt, of Junk Journal July. It did start on the 1st of July, but I just haven't had the time to get started and stay sort of in time with it. So it's relaxed is the first prompt. So that's what I'm doing today. So for me, I'm going to do double page spread. I've just started laying out the first page. Now I've already made the elements to go on the page because the video would have been really long. I struggle to do short videos. I'm a slow crafter. So I've already sort of prepped everything. So we're just going to be arranging and sticking on the pages basically. So with this, for me, relaxed is beach holidays is where I relax, because we go for nice coastal walks, relax on the beach, bit of bodyboarding, things like that. So I've gone and made out of some of the dyed paper that I did last week, I've made a little beach scene. So it was already dyed at the back. It was one of these sheets that I did. If I can grab one. Sorry about the mess on my... So I did some A5 sheets of watercolour paper using the Distress inks. So I had these prepped already. I try and make sure I've already got them because I use them quite a lot. And I've just used like some cotton wool pads there to create like where the waves coming in, it's all a bit frothy. It's not the best. I'm just having a little play around with some acrylic pens. Obviously the dye is already at the back, and just having a little play really, and then just create a little bit of texture there. So that's supposed to be the horizon, bit of sunshine and what have you. So that's just my idea of relaxing. And then on the other side of the page, I've also, because I wanted to do a double page, I've also done another little one where I've created like a meadow scene. So relaxing for me is being in nature, being in the garden, going for nice walks, spotting flowers and things like that. And I've just again created a bit of texture to it with some of the cotton pads with like a little, making little clouds, and it's quite nice texture to feel. So all I did was I just glued it on with some Mod Podge and sort of like dabbed it with a brush to create a bit of texture on the actual picture. And again, that was just some of the dyed paper that I used, and then I've gone in with acrylic paint pens, just to create kind of a sort of a meadowy look. So that's going to be that side of the page, and I've already stamped and prepped it. So I'll just take everything off because we need to glue this down. So I wanted to use some mulberry paper. So that's what it's like originally. So I haven't used the very first page, that will get used. And then I've gone in with some mulberry paper, which I'm just going to glue on. Now this glue probably will come through. It will show up on the... It'll show up through the page, but hopefully that will just disappear once it's dry. I'm not going to worry too much about that. So I wanted to do a double page spread because I knew that for relaxed, for me, is quite a mixture of things really. And I've also done a little bit of watercolour, sort of like paint. I've done these sort of colour swatch kind of things yesterday, which was nice and relaxing, just looking at different colours. Just used a cheap set of watercolours that I think I got from the range ages ago, and I sort of dabble with them every now and then. I do want this journal to be a little bit more arty because I do like painting and things like that. So just move that up a little bit. So I'll just try and get that to go in where, I don't know why I'm putting it that far up, kind of straight. It's a little bit wonky, but that's okay. I'm not looking for perfection, which is just as well. So that's a nice texture as well. It's lovely soft paper, mulberry paper is. And then I was thinking, because of the meadow, you've got the leaves running through it. And then I wanted to just do a belly band with this piece of fabric. It's a little bit creased, but you can just run over it with an iron if you're using fabric in your journals, but I'm just going to go for it and pop that in. I've literally just checked to make sure that I have pressed record. That is one of my habits, not pressing record. Oh, that's it. So I want that to sort of tuck into the corner. And that's going to be like a tuck spot sort of belly. In fact, I wanted to stick that down this side. That's going to fit that in there, so I can stick that down fully. I want this to be flat because I'm going to stick on top of this section. So I'll just put some glue. I'm just looking, actually, that hasn't come through the mulberry paper all that much. I thought it might. I was just thinking as well, I think one of my favourite times to craft is in the morning. I just think things are just a little bit more calm. There's a few neighbours mooching about, but I just think things are just slightly more calm in the morning. So that, hopefully, I've left enough room for that to tuck in. Leave that there for a minute while that dries. Hopefully I won't stick it down. Okay, so that's the idea for that. And then I want to write on here beach days. So that wants to be stuck down fully. This is the colour swatch that I did for this side. So that's going to be a journal card. So I've got 2 journal cards for this. So I'm going to pop that underneath. And then I want to stick these down fully. So I'll do that now. So this journal card I've made using some of Sandra's nautical notes, which I printed off for my beach journal, which I've almost finished. So I'll be doing a flip through of that soon. And that was a spare page that I had, so I thought that would look quite nice in here. That's why I've probably got beach on my mind still as well, because I've been making that. I think I've managed to glue that down, of course. Yeah, there's a bit of glue on the back there. Let's just have a look inside. It's a bit gluey. Just make sure that stays open. Okay, so we'll glue this down. This little picture. A bit of seaweed. So this seaweed was a stamp. I got some beachy sort of stamps in a magazine a couple of weeks ago. So it was a stamp, and I've just stamped it onto some watercolour paper, then just coloured it in with some acrylic pen. So stick that down. Watercolour paper is quite thick and it does like to sort of spring back up, but it does glue down eventually. I am going to trim this up at some point, so I'll leave that. Don't mind that. So I will just trim that up, make it nice and neat, and then that should be a bit drier now, yeah. So what I did with this card, so I stuck down the printable from Be Happy Stationery, the Nautical Notes printable. I stuck that down onto some craft card. Then I've used some of the paper that I dyed with onion skin. It doesn't smell, by the way. Oh, there's a bit of the glue, look. Let's get that off. I stuck some of the paper, that's the ledger paper that I got from eBay, and I've dyed it with onion skin yesterday. It was never intended, I didn't do this purposely for this, it's the way it's worked out. And then I've stuck that on the back, so that's a journal card. Then I found this nice button inside my little button collection there. So I've sewn that on, and then I've done some stitching, hand stitched with some embroidery cotton, and I've stuck on some, it's like binding that I found, like flowery binding. I've stuck that on and then just did some stitching. I think it's a back stitch, not very straight and it's not very even, but I'm not looking for straight and even. I just wanted to add a bit of some texture. That's got glue all over it now, my nice button that I found. It's as bad as my hands. Give that a little wipe off later. I managed to get glue everywhere. So that won't stick now, shouldn't do. And then I thought I'll put the colour swatch behind that. That's also can be journaled on at the back. I like to have little journal spots. And then I was going to add this on as like a tab, which I think I will still do. Oops, let's make sure we can actually close the page now we've done it all. That's it. So let's just trim up this side without trying to trim the little beach picture. I don't mind that sticking over. It doesn't matter if I do trim it, but take that out. Let's just straighten that up a little bit. It's difficult because when you get glue all over your fingers, everything wants to stick to you. You can't keep going to wash your hands every 5 minutes, so let's just... I probably should have torn this before I put it in, just to give it a bit more of a... not so... perfect. I struggle with perfect, as you can see. Now I'm trimming the actual page, obviously. Just tear that a little bit, that's it. It tears quite nicely as well, the mulberry paper. It gives them sort of fibres. Should have done that really. That'll do. I don't mind that showing at the top, it's okay. So put them back in. There are our little journal cards. And then what do? think I will. I'll just glue that on as a little tab. That's a bit of recycled sari silk. You just sort of get like a random, I don't think I've got it on my desk, but you get like a little random reel, and it's got all different colours on it. Let's find a nice little button to put on there. Button or two. If we can find like a pearly one. Don't think I've got that colour on here. Should we go with that? That's nice. I might do that side. It's got like a little blemish on it. Let's do that side. I do normally like to put a bit of thread in, even if I'm not sewing them on, just to give the buttons a bit more character, but I think we're okay today. There we go. So that's that page. Let's move on to the meadow page. So I'm thinking I want to have a pocket along here. So I've got some scrap. Where is it? I did have it. I've got, oh, we could use either this. I'd like it a bit bigger though. I'd like it to go all the way across. There we go. So I've got some scrap. Is that the colour I wanted? So it was from the back page, that was. Or should we go with what was on the front page, so it kind of carries over from next door, because then that's going to be stuck on the top. Which I think the purple goes better actually. Let's go with that one. So if we decide on about there, I think, so we're still getting quite a lot of the stamps in, although some of that will be covered. So let's get about there, just trim that up. We want it to go about there-ish. I will show you the layout in a second. I've just realised, I'm assuming you know the layout that I've got in mind, but I haven't actually shown you, so that is not straight at all. What have I done? That's why I tend to tear things, then it doesn't matter so much. Okay, so let's put some corners in just to soften it a little bit. And put some corners in the top. And I'll just go around. So this side of the page I'm using pink dye. I've already prepped quite a lot of this again, so hopefully it won't be so long. So this is just going to be a little pocket, so it's just doing the 3 sides to glue down. To try and keep my hand on the side not to glue, otherwise I've got a tendency to just glue everything. Okay, I'll put that down, and I have got some, so I'll make sure that doesn't interfere too much. That's it, so it's still going to open and close. We've still got a gap there, and then I'm thinking for this side, if I have a little bit of this binding along the bottom to decorate that pocket a little bit. I've fussy cut out some little butterflies. Oh, doing it the wrong way around. Some butterflies as well for this. Right, move up, there you go. I just need to trim in there a little bit. Just so that that definitely closes. The page closes, yep. Okay. And then planning on sticking that onto the pocket as well. Now could make a double pocket. I think that might be nice. Bit of a double pocket. Maybe. Or should that be a journal card? Oh no, I've done a journal card for it. Ignore me. So let's make that into double pocket. So again, just the 3 sides. I'm going to move it up. Oh, take some of that off. Because otherwise I'm going to shut the other. So just take some of that glue off. So had I've known I was going to do a double pocket there, I could have stuck that onto that pocket initially before I put it in. I will say when you're doing pockets as well, just make sure you are leaving, because they can become quite tight if you don't sort of mess around with them while they're still drying, if that makes sense. So sort of stick things in whilst they're drying usually helps. What else can I put in that other pocket for now? Maybe just a bit of that. So just, that's it. So there's something in that back pocket and there's something in the front one, just so that you can actually, when it dries, it sort of tightens up. We want to be able to get things in and out. That's what I've found anyway. That's it. So that's open now. Okay, so what else we are putting on here? I want a little circle again. I'm not sure if you did watch my first video, I did say I want circles to run through the journal. It's just an idea that I've had for some reason. Sorry, I've just knocked the camera. When I was thinking about doing this journal, I just had the idea of circles. I've no idea why, but I kind of feel like it softens things a little bit, maybe. But anyway, that's what I've decided. So I'm going to pop those out. So this is going to be stuck down. That's again a little journal spot. Yesterday I sort of already started planning this page, so that's why everything's already cut out and ready. So I'd already stamped the back page just to be decorative, really. I mean, a lot of it will be covered, but there will be some that's still showing. Again, that's a little journal spot. I'm just going to put a little note on there about this page. Something about relaxing in nature or something like that. So I'm going to stick my little picture down that I've done. And I have to say, I found doing these little colour swatches and playing around with the meadow and the beach scene, I did actually find it really relaxing. I like playing with paints and things like that when I get time, and I want to add that to this journal a lot, and also playing around with things that I haven't tried before. So like tea dyeing I did yesterday for one of the prompts coming up, and then also playing around with the texture of the cotton wool. That was just something different that I haven't done before. I've just realised I've done the same angle, but that's okay for the two pictures. But that's okay. Maybe should have gone. And then I've also fussy cut out some butterflies, perhaps just to add in and around. They were just off the paper that I used. Do I need one there maybe? Little pink one there. Just to link the pages together a little bit, so they've both got similar elements. Maybe on the edge of that, or at the top there, sticking off. I mean, that there is a bit of the page showing from the underneath, but I'm okay with it. I'm not looking for perfection. It's just as well. So I'll just stick these little butterflies down, and then I'll write the titles kind of thing. Got corners out, find corners everywhere. Bit of glue. That one there. Have that one coming down the page. Got to have butterflies in the meadow, I think. Maybe he's flying that way. And then what I've done here is to put into the pocket. I need to put something else in the pocket. I've got two pockets now that I wasn't planning, but I've used some of Be Happy Stationery's meadow paper. Just to make a journal card. So it's like a journal, well, it's more like a journal page really. I've made it nice and squashy and soft because it's just printed out on copy paper. So I'm just going to add a bit more pink ink because this page is pinky. And then that can go into the pocket. So it's really nice meadow paper. It was an A4 sheet, and I just cut it down so that it would fit into the pocket nicely. And then that will just be inside there, ready for me to journal on. I'm happy with the butterfly sticking up, that's fine. And then I think I might add another closure, not a closure, what am I trying to say? What's this called? A tab. With, what should we use for that? Let's have a look in my jar. Ooh, this is nice, pinky. There we go. If I can get my hand in. What else we're bringing out? Little flower. So I'll just trim a bit of that off and then perhaps add some buttons again like I did to that side. Just again so it ties the 2 pages in. Normally with tabs you use the other side of the page to sort of anchor it down, but I'm putting it both on the one side because I don't want it to go, oops, I've stuck that down. That's what else you've got to be careful of when you junk journaling. I want to keep that free, so I'm happy with that, that's fine. I'll just have a quick look through. I think that'll do it. So that's 2 pages for relaxed, but I wanted to do a double page. And the tabs are on different sections of the pages as well, so that's quite nice because they'll stick out at different points when the journal's closed. Let's pop that away. And then if I just do the titles for both. Okay, I'm back. So I just had to write that down before I put it on the page because I do struggle with spelling. So I've wrote it down on my pad first and then I can write it properly. And I can spell things, but I just struggle sometimes, so I've always sort of struggled really. A bit of confidence as well, really. Where should we put days? Let's go here. I've done joined up for one and not for the other, that's okay. And then I'm going to put, what's a relaxing nature, wasn't it? So relax. In nature. And then I thought if I just do little bits and bobs. And I'm just going to go over it with a brown pen. Not my best handwriting, but it's okay. So maybe this might not be the best idea because it's watercolour paper, but we'll see. Might be okay. Let's try the bigger end. What I should probably do, because I do lack confidence in my writing, is do this sort of thing beforehand, before I stick it on, but then would I ever get it done? You know, you just got to go with it, haven't you? Beach days. Let me know if you're taking part in Junk Journal July and what you're creating. What's your relaxed idea? Have you got started already? Well, I hope you've enjoyed this video. Sorry it's long again. If you've enjoyed it, please like and subscribe. Hopefully make a little comment if you've enjoyed it, if you've liked it, if you'd have done something differently. And join me on my next video. That's my layout. Take care.